Hi, this is Jamel with Recherche Bernese in beautiful Statesville, North Carolina. Normally I say I'm really excited to introduce a puppy, but I'm never excited when we are retiring one of our adults. This girl is Bethany. She was born April 7th, 2017, so she's 4 years of age and she is retired. Nothing is wrong with her outside. She just stopped having puppies. She gave us one small litter and then went 0 for 3 the last 3 attempts, and nothing's wrong with her, just sometimes it just doesn't happen. And so we decided to go ahead and spay her. She's been living with a professional trainer for the last several weeks just to refresh her training. All of our dogs, when we buy them, we put them through our same training program we put our puppies in. We train them till typically 6 to 8 months of age. Then they go and live with us and just like a regular pet. But then when we realized we're gonna rehome them, we put them back in the boot camp just so that they're used to being trained. We put them in a completely new environment to see if there's any weaknesses or anything like that so we can work on them. We did decide early on that when we would retire our adults that we would rehome them. We saw that that would be best for us and best for the dogs. Simply put, they typically retire, especially the Bernese, pretty young. 4 is young, typically it's 6 to 8 years of age, but she still has a long life ahead of her. She's a European Bernese, so they live longer than the Americans. And so she may have another 5 to 7 years of living. And so if we kept every one of our adults, we would end up having twice as many dogs, and half of them are breeding or half of them are not. It's just not fair to the dog. She will go home living with a professional trainer. And what we do now is, because we know they're going to be your home, again, we train them, we socialize them. Most breeders don't want to give up their dogs because they don't train their dogs and their dogs are kind of wild. We've learned not to buy adults from breeders because they have severe issues because they're not trained. Our dogs are not that way because we train them in the same program we give all of our puppies. So she's a beautiful girl. The great thing is she has all of her health clearances. In fact, she scored in the top 4% of Bernese Mountain Dogs with her hip, her elbows, her eyes, her heart, her von Willebrand, and her degenerative myelopathy B and degenerative myelopathy A. So she has all of the health clearances and plus some that's recommended by the Bernese Club of America. She's very healthy. She's only 66 pounds. She's actually a small Bernese Mountain Dog. She's one of our smallest girls. She's very healthy. She's absolutely stunning. Personality-wise, her Recherche score is 734. 7 being that she is dependent. She likes people. She wants to be around you. She's a dog that likes to be with people, but she's not extremely dependent. She's not needy. She is a 3 out of 10 on activity. She's never been high energy. She's very mature. She's always acted older. She's been acting 5 years of age since she was 5 months of age. So she's very mature. She's not high energy. She's not hyper. She is a 4 out of 10 on confidence. If there's a weakness, that's her weakness. She's never been a super confident girl, a dog that will run into a burning building. The advantage of that is she is naturally sensitive, submissive. She is not a dog that will push the boundaries. She's not a dog that's going to get into things. She wants to please you. She takes very little correction, just a verbal little correction, and she listens. She is not a dog that's, even though she's big, she's a little sensitive sweetheart. She is not a dog that's going to push the boundaries. And she's, again, absolutely beautiful. What I'd like to do now, I went ahead and put some dates that she's able to go home. She's been in training for a long time, but we're very flexible with those dates. So if you want to get her before or between these training levels, that's okay. But obviously the price goes up because we are paying a trainer to train her. And so we put August 15th as a level 1, September 15th, level 2, and October 15th, level 3. But we are flexible with those dates. So it doesn't have to be those dates. It could be after that or before that. She's going to get better, but it's not extreme like a puppy would be. What I'd like to do now is to summarize our Puppy Training Institute, and I'm going to show off Bethany in training as today. I'll talk through it, and then I'll come back and let you know what you need to do to reserve her. Now, there's a couple things that are very visible that we're going to show Bethany. The first thing is walking on a leash. She is doing great walking on a leash. We train her to walk on our left side and to do something called an auto sit. Auto sit is when they automatically sit without having to tell her to sit. What that does, that builds focus and that builds respect. Notice she's not pulling, she's not tugging, she's walking on the left side, doing really well. The second thing that's very visible is obedience training, and we train her sit, down, stay, come, place, kennel, and we have 3 different different ways of communicating. We use the leash, we use words, and we use hand signals. Now with the leash, we pull up on the leash, she'll sit. If we pull down on the leash, she'll go down. So that's the leash. With hand training, we have hand signals for almost every one of those obedience commands. And then of course we have words for every one of those commands. We say sit, she goes sit. We say down, she'll go down. Stay, at this age, she can hold stay for minutes, not seconds. So we're not gonna bore you with a super long stay, but she can hold it. We say place, they jump up on the chronocot. You will wanna buy that. That will really help her because she's had one for years now. She's very comfortable with them. That will help the transition. It also helps you to train her stay and come, the two most difficult commands. And then of course, kennel is when we go into the kennel, we say the word kennel, she'll go in, she'll sleep that night in a kennel, and she feels very comfortable in a kennel. Now there's a couple of areas that we do in training that's almost impossible to show on camera. One is house training. She's doing really well with her potty training. She's able to hold the restroom for hours. She's doing great with crate training. And the second thing is socialization. And that's the other thing that's almost impossible to show. Now, what I like to do, and now if you're interested in her, please read through this entire page. If you scroll to the bottom, you'll see pictures we took of her. Right above those pictures are the prices for each level of training. Some people do have a hard time finding the prices. So in this video, we're gonna show you where prices are found on a typical page, but the prices you see in this video may not be hers. You do need to look at her page. And then right below this video is a link that says click here to fill out puppy application. Click on the word puppy application, fill it out. We will respond within 24 hours. Thank you so much for taking time to watch this video of Bethany. Again, this is one of our adults, 4-year-old Bernese mountain dogs. Thank you so much, and God bless.